Happy Friday, Deuce. Welcome in to another podcast. Day late, but we're here to do the AFC preview. Give me your thoughts on the outcome of what transpired last night.
Yeah, last night, obviously, I have all this stuff written down, but for the AFC, but it's going to be a little different now with last night's result. Just, win totals are different. Pretty shocking result, and it's crazy how I don't want to overreact to one game, but I think you can obviously see where the weaknesses are on a team. When they play a team that's pretty good, I think the weaknesses just stand out even more.
Yeah, major question marks on one side of the ball for New England. Kansas City exploited it. Alex Smith, maybe a career game.
He looked shockingly good. Like, I know he's always been a good quarterback, but some of the throws he made were better arm talents than I thought he had type of throws.
Kansas City has some talent on the offense, especially speed-wise.
Tyreek Hill obviously is a missile. Kareem Hunt looks like a find. I know everyone's been hyping him up in the preseason, especially if you're a fantasy football player. Travis Kelce is one of the bigger nightmare matchup tight end problems in the league. I agree. They have some talent, and their most talented guy is the one calling the plays.
Big Red, after that big win, I was rooting hard for Kansas City with them welcoming Philly next week. So hopefully a letdown.
Perfect spot for your system Big Red letdown play.
Let's go. Let's get right into it. AFC East. We already have one result, but the Pats were minus 1,000, Fins plus 1,000, Bills plus 1,200, Jets plus 5,000. Pats over under win total was 12.5, Dolphins 7.5, Bills 6.5, Jets 3.5. Your thoughts on this division and how you see it playing out?
I'm not letting one game change my mind. The last 3 times that the Pats have lost their season opener, they've gone on to win the Super Bowl. So, that could be an indication of something. I had the Pats written down at 13-3. I think their over-under was 12.5, he said, which clearly last night hurts that because you don't expect them to lose at home, especially a game with some juice like last night. So, I think that hurts the over-under play. Going through the rest of the division, I think the 3 other teams are terrible. I liked Miami coming into the year, but the Tannehill injury really knocks him down for me. He's not great, but I thought he was developing into something serviceable. Bills and Jets, I think, are both total rebuilds, so I have them at the bottom of the division. The Pats pass rush really worries me. Glaring weakness stood out last night. Alex Smith had all night to throw. I like the Pats' weapons on offense, but I think they're going to have to outscore people all year, and I'm not sure Brady is going to be at the level he was last year. Still very good, but I have them winning this division just, by default, basically.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I had them at 13-3 as well. Their defense, particularly that front 7, really is worrisome.
Yeah.
I looked at their schedule. Is there any chance they start 0-2 with a road trip to New Orleans next week?
Yes, I think there's a 50-50 chance of that happening, actually.
They should be able to move the ball and score at ease on New Orleans, but we could be in for a shootout.
Yes, I am curious to see what that over-under total is. It will probably be high just because the public will be on that as well, but, we'll see what happens with New Orleans, Minnesota to open the year. I think the Saints' offense is good enough to win that game by themselves.
The Bills and Jets are going to be awful. Have the Bills named if it's going to be Taylor or Peterman to start the year?
Taylor was cleared from the concussion protocol, so all signs point to him.
They're going to be terrible with or without Taylor. Getting rid of a lot of their guys clearly signifies they're rebuilding. I like McDermott. I like that they can build a foundation from the ground, but I think it's going to take a couple of years to get to that point. I don't even know what to say about the Jets.
If the Jets go, I have them at 2-14, and I was find those too. I'm just giving them maybe a Bills and a Dolphins game or something like that. I think they play the Browns once. Does head coach survive there? I mean, he's only been there 2 years, and he's been hyped up, but if they go 2-14, does he survive?
I think he should. I don't know if he will. I think he definitely should, though. He won for 2 years with Ryan Fitzpatrick as his quarterback, and now I don't even know who they're throwing out there.
I don't either. That's the problem. I've always been a Bulls guy, but I think he has set himself up for failure here.
Oh yeah, unfortunately, I think he may end up being a defensive coordinator sooner than later. But I do feel that he is a head coach. The Dolphins, I had the Jets 1-15, Bills 5-11. The Dolphins,
I had Bills 4-12, Jets 2-14.
The Dolphins, I wanted to put higher. I have them at 8-8. I'm probably one of the few. I really like Jay Cutler reuniting with Adam Gase.
Wow, 8-8.
I like the defense. I actually like the weapons. Their offensive line is a little worrisome to me. And now with the hurricane and losing a bye week, it's not an ideal situation. I wanted to get them to 9 or 10, but I just couldn't find it on the schedule to get them to that.
I agree with some of the things you said. I like their defensive line, especially. I see what you're saying about Jay Cutler, and I do think he's an okay fill-in for the time being. I don't like him season long. 16 games in a row is going to take its toll on him. I think Devontae Parker has a big breakout year. Love Jarvis Landry. Jay, pretty good running back. I just don't like the cohesion of this team. I think that this week 1 situation with the Hurricane is really going to affect them long term, having to play all those games in a row. I have them at 6-10, actually, so I am not as high as you.
Interesting. What holds them back from getting to 8-8? The biggest thing you see?
The quarterback. I'm just not sold on Jay Cutler being able to win that many games.
I don't know what it is, but Jay Cutler has a soft spot in my heart.
Their schedule does set up. They have some home games that, if they do win, then I could see 8. But, Saints, Titans at home, then going to Atlanta. That's the type of thing that worries me, is if they do lose 3 in a row, what's the psyche of the team? Does Smokin' Jay care? I guess what I'm getting at.
Smokin' Jay never looks like he cares.
That's the problem, though.
How great would it have been to see Smokin' Jay 30, 40 years ago when you could smoke on the sidelines?
He would have been a perfect fit in that era. He would have been a cult hero.
Going back to the Patriots really quick before we move on.
Sure.
Can they do anything to that front seven to improve it? I saw some talk earlier today. We touched upon it a little bit before we got on here. Why did they trade Jimmy G and rebuild the defense? Can they do anything?
Yeah, I'm sure they can make that trade, but I don't think Jimmy G will have as much value right now as he would have before the draft. I don't know. I guess there was warning signs. We should have seen this when a couple weeks ago Dante Hightower was shown doing pass rush drills in practice. Now, who knows what, maybe it was just a teaching thing, but when you have your middle linebacker doing pass rushing drills, I think that signifies that they're worried about something. And he gets hurt last night, and they don't really have a fill-in for him. I don't know. It's kind of weird that they didn't address this.
Yeah, this is on Belichick, on Patriots, to see what happened last night and to see the glaring weakness. I don't remember a weakness.
Especially when you pay all that money to Gilmore, who, I like. He's good, but you're paying him at corner when your secondary really isn't the problem.
I don't remember a weakness being this glaring for the Patriots in 15, 16 years.
They've had poor defenses before, and I know we've said, we've bragged on their defenses, but I don't think it's ever been a one specific unit this bad.
Yeah, I'm trying not to overreact to one game. The Chiefs are a pretty good team, but I don't see where they're going to generate the pass rush.
Yeah, those don't just grow on trees. So you can kind of manufacture coverage sometimes, but pass rush is a different animal.
So they'll win this division by default. Probably still the best team in the league, would you say?
Yeah, I'm not gonna go nuts about it. I've been really high on Seattle. I thought those two were on a collision course for the Super Bowl. Maybe after last night, I'll give the edge to Seattle, but I don't see much difference.
Would you still play over 12.5 starting 0-1?
I would need to look at their schedule, but maybe not actually.
To the AFC North, Steelers minus 175 to win the division. Bengals plus 350. Ravens plus 350. The Browns plus 2,500. Steelers over under 10.5. Bengals and Ravens 8.5, and the Browns at 4.5. What will happen here?
Maybe I just got crazy here, but I like the value that the Cincinnati Bengals bring here. I like them over their 8.5. I like them plus 350 to win the division. I have them at 10-6 and one in the North.
Wow.
Red Rifle.
I had follow up.
Marvin leading it, but I like their talent, and call me crazy, but I think the Steelers, while they have the most talent, I just don't trust everyone to be there at the same time all year long.
I had follow-up questions ready, expecting you to say the Steelers. I don't know where to go now.
You can ask them.
What?
I'll answer them differently.
What do you like about the Bengals? I like them too. I don't think I'm as high though as you are.
I like their balance on offense. I think they, especially with Joe Mixon, I think he will add. He might not start the year adding this element, but I think by week 4 or 5 they'll start to feature him more. I think he'll finally take some of the pressure off AJ Green. I like the Eifert Green Mixon combo there, and then I think their defensive line is pretty good still. It's more about I don't love the Steelers as much as everybody else.
Interesting. One thing I did forget until I did some research was the Bengals drafting of John Ross. Now, I don't think either one of us love John Ross, but I think this is a great fit that's really going to open up the middle of the field.
They needed that speed, especially in the slot. I totally agree.
Defensively is what worries me for them. What do you like defensively about them?
They're older, don't get me wrong, but I still like their line. I still think Geno Atkins can really play in the middle. I think they'll be okay against the run. If we are picking out a weakness, I don't love the secondary. So, like you said, not liking the defense, I'm assuming that's where what you're talking about. But I think Kirkpatrick can play. I thought Darqueze Dennard was going to be better than he is, but I still think he's a good nickel corner. So, and Adam Jones still hanging on the league. Their safeties is their huge weakness on defense.
I have them at 9-7, so we're not far off. I think I'm probably more surprised at the lack of love for the Steelers. So switching gears to the Steelers, who I had at 12-4. What don't you like about the Steelers?
It's more of just a concern of the guys that are going to go down. Martavius Bryant coming back, huge weapon, love him. He looks totally different. He hit the weight room for the first time in his life, he said, and he's still running 4.3. So there's adding a weapon with Antonio Brown. My concern is with the Le'Veon Bell, Ben Roethlisberger staying healthy situation. Big Ben has had trouble the last couple of years staying on the field. He takes a ton of hits. I think the retirement talk worries me a little bit that if he does take a big hit, he maybe takes a little more time to come back. And then Le'Veon Bell, awesome player, don't get me wrong, but he has had trouble staying on the field for various reasons. I just don't see both of them staying healthy for 16 games. They've had trouble in their offensive line staying healthy with Pouncey mostly. I love DeCastro, but defensively, I like Watt pick a lot, and they've tried to revamp their secondary. I don't think their defense is very good. I don't think they're going to be able to stay healthy is really the main reason I don't like them as much as other people. I like them. love them.
What do you have their record at?
I'm at 9-7.
Okay.
So, not saying they're only going to win 5 games or anything. Just their star players to me are a little, they have durability issues. Shazier on defense is their star. He's awesome, but he is slight for the position that he plays. He has had injury issues his whole career.
Can we expect Antonio Brown to do the same thing he did last year?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's far and away the best receiver in the league. I will put an asterisk with that if Big Ben is healthy, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, everything you said I can't disagree with. I guess it's more of me rolling the die that they're going to stay healthy. But in saying that, Ben hasn't been healthy maybe in his ever. So,
right.
I can't disagree with anything you said to back up the 12-4. It's more of just the roll of the die that they'll be healthy.
Totally fair, because they might have the best starting talent in the league. I mean, their talent is crazy. The risk to me is a little high.
Yeah, I like their defense. I think they got better than they were last year, but still not what a defense is when you think of the Steelers.
Yeah, I like some of their starters on defense. For me, it's the defensive line that still is lacking. I don't like the 3 up front a ton with Hayward, Hargrave, Tuitt. Doesn't do it for me. Shazier, Dupree, and Watt, the linebackers, I do like. And then they have some players in the secondary. I don't think Joe Hayden's that great anymore. I looked at some of his metric stats, and he got torched last year. So I'm not sure that's as good of a signing as people think.
I think they're really built to get a lead and then pin their ears back and go after the quarterback. So in close games is when I think they're vulnerable defensively.
Yeah, I can see that.
One team flying under the radar, I'm not very high on them, but your thoughts on the Ravens?
Yeah, they've already had 4 or 5 season-ending injuries, so their season is getting off to a start where they're having to play guys that they didn't think were going to step in. Flacco just off the injury report with the back, so he has not thrown very much in the preseason. I like what they did with some of their off-season moves, but and I like where their defense is headed. I think they have some good players on defense. It's tough for me to see them winning more than 8 games, though, with the lack of playmakers on offense, with Joe Flacco, who I don't love, and with all the guys on season-ending IR already.
Money always talks, but there has to be some sort of reservation in Flacco's mind that he really cannibalized this roster.
Yeah, it's all on him. I mean, his cap number is just destroying the roster.
Yeah, I have them at 8-8, and I think that's as good as they can do.
Me too. Exactly the same.
And then lastly, the dog pound.
I have the Browns at 3-13, but I like where they're going. I'm not sure if Deshaun Kaiser's the guy. We'll see. But I like what they're doing there. I like Hugh Jackson a lot. They've seen snake bitten Myles Garrett, high ankle sprain, is going to miss the first couple of weeks. Top pick, that kind of stinks. But I think in a couple of years, Cleveland will be okay if they stick with this path.
I completely agree. We've said many years, or people have said many years, this is finally, they're on the track. But I do think that they are on the track now. If they would just stick with what they have.
Yeah.
Is Kaiser the answer?
I'm not sure. I loved him in college before last year. He didn't look great last year. He's got the tools. It's just if he can put them together or not.
Yeah, we both were very high on Deshaun Kaiser. I think he's in a great situation with Hugh Jackson. Other than Gase, Jackson may be the best quarterback guy in the league.
Close, yeah. I mean, he's done really well.
So he's in a great situation. Some things that I've read are he doesn't love to study the film and break down the tape, and he's a little bit of a prima donna in the pocket.
Yeah. I worry about him running early in his career a little too much and taking some big shots. I think that's where Hugh is really going to come in.
I also had them at 3-13. So, is the Bengals our favorite play in the division then?
From a value standpoint, that's my favorite play, yeah. I mean, plus 350 is tough to find, and for a team that 3 out of the last 4 years has won 10 games.
I'll star them. We'll come back to that.
You're high on the Steelers, though, so I'm not sure we can go down the Bengals path.
I'm behind on the Steelers, but it's a roll of the die, as you said. I agree with everything you said. I just, I guess I think that the die is going to roll in my favor as opposed to your favor.
And that's why they're minus 175.
The South. Titans plus 175, Texans plus 175, Jags plus 700, Colts plus 300. Titans over under 9, Texans 8.5, Jags 6.5, Colts 7.5. I have not seen an adjustment on the Colts. I think it has stayed at 7.5 despite Luck's situation.
That's because I don't think anybody knows what is happening. He could play week 2, and I think no one will be surprised he might sit out till week 8. I have no idea what's going to happen with him. This division was hard to handicap because of that. He's, when he's there, the Colts are probably vying for the division, but he's not there. So, and we don't know when he's coming back. So it's kind of hard to predict wins in this division, I thought.
The Colts' first 4 games are at Rams, Arizona home, Cleveland home, at Seattle. Without Luck, that's 1-3 at best to me.
Yeah, with Luck, that's 2-2, I think.
If he doesn't play the first 4 weeks, they're 1-3. Is there any talk or thought of just keeping him down for the season?
I think it depends on the other teams in the division. Where are they at? If someone's 4-0, then maybe.
I have many questions about the Colts. I was hoping Luck was healthy so we could discuss, but what is Andrew Luck?
I don't know. A big question mark to me.
For many years, we said if you're building a franchise, Andy Luck's the guy you take number 1. Is he still?
I don't know. If we did this game, I think I would need an hour to prepare. I'm not. Next 10 years, do you take Mariota or Luck?
Flip a coin at this point.
Do you take Carr or Luck?
Carr.
Do you take Russell Wilson or Luck?
The hard part for me is what are you surrounding them with?
I know. It's a blank slate.
I think Luck then.
I think I would take Wilson. Actually, I've been not a Wilson guy, but he has created this resume that's hard to ignore.
I want to say that Luck has been put in a tough spot with the horrendous GM decisions Ryan Grigson's made.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he can't stay healthy, and I know that there's some people that say that the interceptions he throws are not that big of a deal, but he throws a ton of interceptions.
Something has to be his fault. It can't be this mediocre for this long and be all on other people, I don't think. It's hard for me to say, because he is so good when he's good. It's hard for me to pick somebody else over him, but, what year are we in now? 5?
I was just going to ask you, I believe it's 5.
So, we're starting to build a track record here of mediocrity.
I mean, certainly being an Eagles fan, I would take that 1 Super Bowl, but it's hard to believe Peyton Manning and Andy Luck, and you have 1 Super Bowl in 20 years,
yeah.
22 years.
I know. That does speak to the GM a bit, but, and there was more talent when Peyton was there.
Sure,
no doubt.
Absolutely.
But, and Luck's still young, I get it, but, there's something's got to give.
I had them at 5-11, with or without Luck.
I'm at 6-10. That was based on him coming back week 4, 3 or 4. I have circled, so I'm giving him a little more time, I think.
Is this the end of Chuck Pagano?
It has to be, right?
He's got to be the fall guy this year. It was Grigson last year, and rightfully so.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think so, because he seems like a pretty good coach, pretty good guy. I'm not sure he's a head
The rest of the division, your thoughts?
Sure. I have the Titans. I'm high on the Titans, just like everyone else in America.
Does that worry you at all?
6. Yeah, a little bit. Just because they were good last year and we're expecting this great leap. I think it's always with a young team. When expectations get high like this, it's always a little tougher. If you gave me a hypothetical trade that I could make to create a great team, it would be I would trade an asset, a draft pick for Bill O'Brien, and Bill O'Brien would now be the Titans coach, and I would absolutely love this team. The head coach really worries me in saying they're going to win the division, they're going to hit the over, etc., etc. But I really like their offense. I think they're built to last the season, especially with the 2 running backs, Henry and DeMarco. I love that they have a better-than-average backup. Their offensive line is nasty. Mariota's really grown into something I didn't think he'd become. They got him some weapons with Decker and drafted Corey Davis. Their defensive line is really good. Their secondary, not great, but I think they can get away with it in this division.
It was like you stole my notes. I actually had written down if I were the Titans, I would trade picks for John Harbaugh.
That's a good one, too. I would love that. John Harbaugh, Bill O'Brien, 2 of my favorites in the league.
Mike Mularkey is such a liability. I cannot feel comfortable betting the over of 9 with Mike Mularkey as my coach.
I know. And that's why I have a big dot next to the over, but I didn't star it for that reason. I just kept swirling my pen.
So, would you rather Mularkey and Marcus Mariota, who I agree I did not expect him to become what he has, or Bill O'Brien and the combination of Savage and Deshaun Watson?
Well, Deshaun Watson's a question mark, right? He could be really good. I didn't think, just watching him generally on Saturdays, that he was going to be a good pro quarterback, but the couple times against Alabama, he really made some good throws, and I think he's one of those kids that just gets it up top. So I don't know. I think I might roll the die with Bill O'Brien and Deshaun Watson.
I still am not a Watson believer, but I agree with what you said that he might have it up top, and O'Brien certainly is right up there with coaching quarterbacks. He's got weapons. He's not like he has to go out and win games with that defense.
Right. And, it's the quarterback question mark for me with Houston. That's why I have them at 8-8. I don't love their secondary either, but I think their front 7 is nasty if they can stay healthy. Like their offensive weapons a lot. It's just a matter to me of, how long does O'Brien stick with Savage? Is Savage even good? Can Deshaun Watson give them anything if he does come in, week 4, 5, 6, whatever?
Looking at Houston's schedule, tough break, and obviously thoughts and prayers with the Houston area. Because then they go to at Cincinnati, at New England. Is there a shot at an 0-3 start? Actually, hang on here a second. Jacksonville at home with the Houston circumstances. Then at Cincinnati, at New England, Tennessee at home, Kansas City at home.
Yeah, they have a brutal September, first week in October. And that's kind of the issue is I'm not sure the quarterback play is good enough to overcome that slate. You see 2 wins in there by mid-October with the Jags and Browns probably, but they're definitely going to have to pick off a game that they're not supposed to win.
With that division, or with that schedule, I have to lean Titans despite Mularkey.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. The defensive line is really, really good. They could, win a game like a New England or a Kansas City just by having one of those crazy Watt cloudy games, but you're not expecting that.
So I had the Titans at 10-6 and the Texans at 8-8.
That's what I have as well. I have the Colts at 6-10, and lastly, your Jacksonville Jaguars at 5-11. I actually like their defense a lot. They have some talent. I don't love the talent on offense outside of Fournette, and obviously Blake Bortles is a human dumpster that is caught on fire.
I was hoping that we would just skim over the Jaguars, but after all these years, I'll finally admit I was wrong on Blake Bortles. He's awful. We're running out of games to bet against him, and not to give it away, but I think I'm leaning Jaguars this Sunday.
I swear to God, I have a circle next to them plus the 5.5.
I do like Tom Coughlin coming in to build the team. I think with some of the young guys around, Coughlin is going to be pretty good with those young guys. Their defense was pretty good last year. So if they could just get some competent quarterback play, they could be in play for 7-9, 8-8.
Their defense could win 6 games by themselves. They just need their offense to win 2 or 3 more, I think, to have a shot at the division and or not give games away.
That's the problem. It's not that Bortles throws interceptions. It's where and when he throws these interceptions.
Yeah, he just gives games away. He gives points away.
Yeah, he's awful.
Yeah.
So I had them at 5-11.
Yep, we have the exact same numbers for all of these teams in the South.
Anyone stand out to you over under?
I would lean Colts under, Titans over would be my 2 leans there, but I don't love anything in this division.
Yeah, I'm with you there as well. And to one of the more interesting, maybe the most interesting division, the AFC West. Chiefs plus 240, Broncos plus 350, Raiders plus 160, Chargers plus 400, Chiefs over under 9, Chargers over under 7.5, Broncos over under 8, Raiders over under 9.5.
Such a tough division, not only to handicap, but just to pick wins and losses throughout the schedule. I struggled picking games in this division. I basically have all 4 teams, very similar records. I love the talent in this division. There's some really good players, especially pass rushers. This division is loaded with pass rushers. It is not loaded with easy schedules, though. The schedules for all 4 of these teams are really, really difficult. I guess Denver has the schedule that lines up the best in my mind, but they probably have the worst quarterback. So I took the Chargers to win this division at 9-7. I have the Chiefs and Raiders at 8-8, and I have Denver at 7-9.
Pretty close to what I have. I do have the Chiefs at 10-6. The schedule, and now with it looks like Eric Berry will be lost for the year. I don't know if 10-6 is achievable anymore.
Yeah.
But I'll go with what I had. I had Chiefs 10-6, Chargers 9-7, and Raiders and Broncos 8-8.
So do you have a favorite over or lean over/under play in this division?
I want to say the Chargers. I like the Chargers. I love that they're going to play in a soccer stadium. I think that's an advantage.
That's awesome.
I actually hope that teams realize how much of an advantage that could be and start building smaller stadiums.
Totally agree.
The one holdup I have with the Chargers is I know it's too far away from San Diego, but it's a whole different routine now going to LA.
Yeah, new surroundings for sure. I think their roster is chock full of talent. My concern with them would be the offensive line.
Yes.
They did not do much to improve it, and what they did try to do, they drafted a kid, Forrest Lamp, and he's already out for the season, so kind of negates what they tried to do there. That worries me. Phil Rivers, though, still playing at a high level. They got some talent on offense. They have some really good pass rushers on defense. With Bosa and Ingram, I would lean over, and I would lean under on Oakland. I think Oakland's secondary is going to be a thorn in their side. They're going to get torched by teams in the passing game. I think they actually take a step back from last year, and I would lean under with Oakland.
I'm with you on those two. I love the Chargers defense. I like
Yeah.
Anthony Lynn coming in as the head coach. That defense should be even better than it was last year, especially with Bosa, a full year of Bosa. And I completely agree on the Raiders. I think I saw that they were 7-1 in games decided by 7 or less. That season could have been way different. I think they had 4 game-winning drives. I think this number is way inflated for the Raiders. I think the Raiders under is one of my favorite plays in the league.
I think I agree, actually. I have it start. I like the Raiders under as a top 4 over-under play for me.
So, division winners, Patriots, Steelers, Titans, Chiefs for me, and you went...
I went Titans, Chargers, Bengals, Pats.
I had the Chargers and Bengals as wild cards, and you have...
There'd be some tiebreakers in mine, but it would be Steelers, Chiefs.
And I had the Patriots as the 1 seed and them beating the 2 seed Steelers in the AFC Championship to set up Patriots-Packers Super Bowl.
I'm going to get crazy here. I'm going Patriots, and I'm going to just say the bolts of the soccer stadium make it there. I just think their roster is really good. They got to stay healthy. But I got Pats over Bolts to set up Chickens-Pats Super Bowl.
And my Super Bowl winner is the Green Bay Packers.
Wow. I also am going to go against the defending champs. I'm going to go the Fighting Pete Carroll Seattle Chickens.
I saw that the Super Bowl line right now is a pick'em. Any value on picking either side?
I would pick NFC, actually.
I agree because New England, I would say, is odds on they're the favorite to get back there. They'll be the favorite in the Super Bowl. You could possibly middle that.
I agree. Smart bet, actually. Now I'm thinking about it.
So over-unders. Are we going to make the Raiders official?
Yeah.
Chargers.
Oh, man. I think I like it.
Raiders under 9.5. Chargers over 7.5. Bengals.
I like the over, but I'm okay to stay away. I would put a little nugget, though, on plus 350, you know?
All right, we'll do that as a value play.
Just because that's I think you're getting good odds there.
Anything in the NFC East?
I like the Birds over.
Birds over or Birds plus 275 to win the division?
I'll take the 275, definitely.
All right. NFC North, I think the only one would either be the Lions or the Vikings for me. Lions under, Vikings over.
I like both. My stronger play would be Lions under.
And the Lions under was
7.5, I believe.
official.
Official.
The South, I like the Panthers a lot.
I'm with you if you want to do that.
That would be Panthers over 9
Yeah.
or Panthers plus 225 for the division.
We can do the 225 because the 9, you're not really, without the hook, you're not getting much value.
And then the West, Chickens over 10.5 or stay away.
That's a high number. I like it, but it's probably prudent to stay away.
All right, so we have Raiders under 8.5, Chargers under 7.5, or excuse me, Chargers over 7.5, Lions under 7.5, Eagles plus 275 to win the division, Panthers plus 225 to win the division, and Bengals plus 350 to win the division.
I like that. The only other team I had written down was Bills 6.5 under.
Official?
Do you like that?
I think I do. Let me take a quick peek at the schedule quickly.
I have giving them a one more loss than they deserve, but I have them at 4-12.
I had them at 5-11. Let's just go through the schedule quickly. Jets at home.
That's a win.
At Carolina.
Loss.
Denver at home.
Kind of a toss-up game, but I would think Denver's going to be favored.
At Atlanta.
Loss.
At Cincinnati.
Loss.
Tampa at home.
These are the two games right here that
they're going to win. They're going to win one of them.
Okay, give them one of them then.
The other one that we're referring to is the Raiders at home. Then they go at Jets. I think they split with the Jets.
So do I.
Saints at home.
Loss.
At Chargers.
Loss.
At Chiefs.
Loss.
New England at home.
Loss.
Colts at home.
Win.
Dolphins.
Well, Andy Luck, you never know.
Dolphins at home. I think they'd probably split with the Dolphins.
Okay.
And then the other game would be at New England.
Loss.
So I have 3 definite wins and 2 maybes. I think under is an official play.
I agree, because even if they win games that were kind of half and half, let's just say they win one more. That's 6. That still doesn't get it done.
Bills under 6.5. Official.
Done.
The unveiling of the wagon.
We have talked a little bit about this, but we have not officially decided.
So
the people are going to get to hear our reasoning right here.
The Wagon is a team that won 8 or less games last year. A really ratty or up-and-coming team that we think is going to be pretty good and pretty good against the spread because they'll be undervalued. I think we have it narrowed down to the Bengals, the Chargers, the Eagles, and the Vikings.
We can eliminate the Bengals. How about that?
Okay.
Just because I think there's a little more risk with them with the team like Pittsburgh in their division.
I think the NFC East is too much of a crapshoot.
I was hoping we would go with that team.
Can't do it.
I don't want to jinx your team, so I think it's the only way to go.
I think it has to be the Los Angeles Chargers. A relocated team, a new coach, a veteran quarterback, and a soccer stadium.
Brutal division, though. The other team is the Minnesota Vikings. We both like their head coach. I mean, the guy coached with an eye patch last year. They have a quarterback that you have experience with in Sammy Bradford. They have a guy that we both loved in college at Dalvin Cook. And they have a nasty defense.
For the record, our Wagon team last year was the Bucks and the Raiders the year before. So traditionally, the Wagon has made the playoffs or won the division the year after we've had them. So that's what the Wagon is.
I think we have to go with the soccer stadium only because of Phil Rivers.
That was my deciding factor.
A guy that has 7 kids and lives in the hills of North Carolina on the off season it exactly epitomizes what the Wagon's about.
So we're hopping on the Wagon with the LA Chargers.
Yeah, love it.
Great job by you on the AFC breakdown. One more podcast coming this week with our picks and preview of college and the NFL.
Golf clap to the host. Great job.
Talk to you soon.
All right, buddy.